Welcome to Retirement Perspectives with Bob Horn. If your retirement picture is blurry, Bob and the team at NuVenture Financial Group can help you put your retirement into focus. Bob strives to understand all of your financial needs to help guide you on the path to your retirement goals. This is Retirement Perspectives with Bob Horn.
Welcome to Retirement Perspectives with Bob Horn. I'm Danielle Martin. We know that you work hard for your money, but come retirement, it's time to make your money work for you. Today, Bob shares some helpful financial strategies to help you do just that and get you to and through the retirement that you want. And later, the 3 retirement questions that you should be able to answer before you leave your job. Well, Bob tells you what those are. Plus, in our Retirement in Focus, Bob talks about how to organize your financial junk drawer. Bob, it's great to be back with you. We have lots to get into. How are you feeling today?
It's great to be back with you as always, Danielle.
I'm looking forward to this topic today because, you know, Bob, we spend years working, grinding, saving, and I'm sure you know that song from Donna Summer, She Works Hard for her money.
Come on, sing it, sing it.
I can't do the tune the way that she does it, but you know that song, right?
I get it, yes, absolutely.
And so when retirement rolls around, one of the things we have to consider is it would be nice if our money would work for us. Is that even possible?
Yeah, it is. It's very important. And here's what it takes. So many of the families that come into our office for the first time, they really have one big main question on their mind. Do I have enough? And if I do, what does it look like down the road? The fact is that many of the retirees we work with will live for a third of their life with no earned income at all. They retire when they're 60 or 65. They could very easily live in their 80s and 90s, a third of their life. And so that's what we have to help them develop is the confidence, the fact that they can retire. They do have enough. So it's really important. Then we also look at the diversified income sources. There's more than one way to take an income out of a portfolio. Whether it's the old-fashioned kind of 4% withdrawal strategy where you take 4% out of your growth account, or you use like dividend stocks and bonds. You can use annuities. There's all kinds of different ways to take income out of a portfolio that we can customize to a retiree. That's why a comprehensive plan, a written retirement income plan is really important for the folks that we work with.
You know, Bob, I know many retirees have questions about this because when we work, we count on that paycheck that we work so hard for. And so when we're working for that money. I know many people have the question, how do we know if we've saved enough using that paycheck? Or as we're working, how do we know if we've saved enough for retirement?
Yeah, so a good question. So one of the things we do is we talk about utilizing our bank statement exercise. We figure out the expenses, number one. There's a lot of different components to the equation. So we figure out what are the expenses that folks are going to be, what do they need in retirement. Then the second thing is we have to target what date or age do you want to retire by to make sure that we're on track. And then from there, we figure out the actual income plan. And it's really important that folks have an actual written income retirement plan. What we often say is that it's kind of like a GPS or a map, this income plan. What you don't want to have is your income plan being a investment statement. The investment statement is going to tell you one of two things. Is my money going up or is it going down? Is it going north or south? Whereas a plan will tell you exactly how to get there, and then what happens if you hit a concern or something like that. So.
And I know also too, as we're kind of shifting our mindset when it comes to retirement, because I think that's exactly what it is. You kind of have to think more, even though you can spend and save a little bit, there's also that factor that I'm sure many people have and wonder, how do we know how much income that we need when we get to retirement?
So we use, how much income do we need? So we use what we call the bank statement exercise. And we've actually done shows on this before and taught people how to do this. And we talk about it all the time in our office. And essentially what we'll do is get their most recent 12 months bank statements and look at the expenses that were on the statements. Usually on your bank statements, there's going to be one number at the end of each statement says the total monthly outgo, total monthly withdrawals. That doesn't lie. That is your total expenses for the month. So you can very easily, within about 10 minutes, take all those 12 months bank statements, add those 12 numbers up, and get to your expenses. That's going to be a very true number. That doesn't lie.
And Bob, if we want our money to work for us in retirement, this is also not the time for us to be doing a DIY project, right? I think this is an opportunity for us to get with the financial advisor, iron out all of the expenses, right? I mean, do you have many clients coming to you saying, hey, this is what I put together. What do you think about this?
Yeah, so we do. So truth be told, we have a lot of DIYers. And actually, truth be told, I'm a DIYer. So
thanks for being honest.
Yeah, so it's common for me on the weekends. I don't mind changing the oil in our cars, that kind of thing. I don't mind getting a little dirty. However, I will tell you though, if I hear a little tick in the transmission, what I can tell you I'm not going to do is bust out all my tools and start breaking apart that engine. I'm going to take it to somebody that knows what they're doing, that's done it before, it's a professional. And so that's the same thing as a DIYer that's done this before, arguably very well, has grown their money very well, but now in retirement, that paradigm's changed, and you might want to consult with an actual professional retirement planner.
Well, we're just getting started here. So Bob, thank you so much for all the insights that you have. Coming up next, what are the 3 biggest questions that you should be able to answer before you retire? Well, Bob lets us know. And later in Retirement in Focus, Bob talks about how to organize your financial junk drawer. We'll be right back.
Planning for retirement can be complicated. Helping create income that lasts, making sure your health care is covered, investing while managing risk, and don't forget about taxes. If you're overwhelmed, you're not alone. The good news is we have what you need to give you confidence to start planning for your ideal retirement, all in one convenient resource. You'll get answers to some of your biggest retirement questions in this easy-to-understand, practical resource. And best of all, there's no cost to you. Take the first step toward a confident retirement and get yours today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. Our current tax rates are set to expire in just a few short years. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
Welcome back to the show. We're discussing how you can make your money work for you. Now, Bob, earlier in the show, we were talking about 3 questions that we should actually be asking ourselves before we retire, questions that we need to answer before we get to retirement. What are those? Let's start with question 1.
Yeah, so 3 big questions. And the first one that it really comes up at the first meeting that I have with a new prospective client is, what age do you plan to retire? Simple question, but sometimes can be a very complicated answer because it comes up, sometimes one spouse wants to retire right now, another spouse wants to retire at a certain date. And then oftentimes we'll see where folks, they don't want to retire. They kind of want to continue to work. They make good money. It's not a bad job. They're somewhat relaxed. And so they'll continue to work for a little while. And then other ones we talk to say, look, I'm done with this 40-hour week job, but I still want to stay busy, so I might have a part-time job doing something, whatever else, to make some additional income. And all that goes into that equation of when do you want to retire and how do we hit that target? So we shouldn't just pick a date out of a hat. We should make sure we target that date, and that gives a retirement planner, like we are at our firm, to make sure we can hit that number. The age that you will retire will have a huge impact on your numbers. For instance, if you retire before 62 years old, you're not going to have access to Social Security. If you retire before 65, one of the risks of doing that is having to pay for health care. After 65, we have Medicare that comes in. So, addressing those age timeframes is a really big deal. And a qualified retirement planner can help you kind of adjust that and figure out that number.
And Bob, you said also another key word there, Social Security. What's another question that we need to be asking ourselves as well?
Well, and how much should we rely on Social Security? That's another big question, Danielle. How much should we rely on Social Security, and is Social Security going to even be there? So Social Security is really only designed to replace about 40% of your pre-retirement income. 40%, that's it. Which means you need to have another 60% set aside where you can get, whether it's off your investments, whether it's through a pension, which a lot of the pensions are going away, maybe some real estate. So we have to make sure that we can rely on Social Security, but only for a certain amount of time or a certain amount. It's also really important to know that a lot of people ask me the questions, well, do you think that Social Security is going to be around? Right. And I do. I think that for most folks that are entering or actually in retirement, it's not going to be adjusted. I don't believe, it's my humble opinion. I do believe that maybe for younger folks, it might be. So I do feel like for folks that are approaching retirement, that are in retirement, it's going to be a solid source of income moving forward.
Bob, when we're speaking of the third question that we also need to ask ourselves, what about a question when it comes to leaving the workforce and entering into retirement? Yeah, so the third and last really important question we ask is regarding healthcare costs. This is a huge issue for retirees. In fact, Fidelity did a study a few years ago that suggested that a married couple will have over $300,000 of out-of-pocket costs for healthcare and retirement. And that doesn't include long-term care. That's just basic medical costs. So it's really important. And that can be a figure that's really daunting, but if you know how to adjust that and plan for that and adjust for the risk, you can make a plan, which is why we always talk to some of the clients we work with about working with a retirement planner in the retirement, not necessarily a financial advisor. Financial advisors do great getting you to the point of that retirement, but as that paradigm shifts, there's a lot of different things we have to navigate in retirement, which is one of those things is healthcare costs for sure. That's right, Bob. And we're asking these questions. Another key thing too that we have to also consider is what type of financial advisor is right for me? How do you kind of make sure that even for you that you're meeting with the right clients? Yeah, so we break down financial advisors into two different categories. That is the growth advisors that do a really good job of helping you to accumulate your assets. That's not us. What we do is we do the retirement planning, Danielle, which is where when they've gotten to the point where they're ready to retire, or they're thinking of retirement, that's where we get involved. We're not necessarily accumulation advisors. Growth is really important still, but now we're talking about diversifying investments. We're talking about income. We're talking about healthcare and taxes and legacy planning, a lot of different subjects that are going on in retirement that aren't necessarily prevalent during the accumulation stage. So it's really important. A lot of folks, they show up to our educational workshops in Jacksonville. They'll show up to our dinners that we do with that question. Hey, I feel like the paradigm is shifting and my current financial advisor may not be the right answer anymore. And then they show up at one of our seminars. Bob, this is a lot of really great insights because I know many people have questions about this. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time breaking down the difference between the two, because we definitely need to know what type of professional we're speaking with, and then also the three questions that we need to ask ourselves before we enter retirement. The good news is if you have more questions about this, do not hesitate to reach out to Bob and his team, and they will definitely take care of you. But the conversation continues right here. So straight ahead, Bob shares how to organize your financial junk drawer. That's next in Retirement in Focus, and still to come, Bob answers some of your questions. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy, but with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. Our current tax rates are set to expire in just a few short years. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
Planning for retirement can be complicated. Helping create income that lasts, making sure your health care is covered, investing while managing risk, and don't forget about taxes. If you're overwhelmed, you're not alone. The good news is we have what you need to give you confidence to start planning for your ideal retirement, all in one convenient resource. You'll get answers to some of your biggest retirement questions in this easy-to-understand, practical resource. And best of all, there's no cost to you. Take the first step toward a confident retirement and get yours today.
In today's Retirement in Focus, Bob explains how to get your financial junk drawer organized. Bob?
Thanks, Danielle. So in this week's Retirement in Focus, we're going to talk about your financial junk drawer. So if you're like me at your house, probably somewhere in your kitchen, you've got this junk drawer with a bunch of weird things in it. Probably it's got pens and some papers, maybe a stapler or some tape, or maybe an old deck of cards, some pictures. A lot of random stuff that are in this junk drawer, and it's probably very unorganized. So we're going to talk about taking your financial junk drawer and getting it organized. So we want to make sure that all the things in there, we find a lot of times that people in retirement, they've got a lot of the right components laid out in this drawer, if you will. We want to make sure we get those things organized. And the first thing we do is we want to find out there are going to be things you need, but are very hard to find if they're not organized. Well, what are those things? Well, that can be something simple as your investment statements. It could be something like life insurance policies, maybe your homeowner or auto insurance policies, maybe your estate planning documents, things that are really important when you need them. So let's get organized and be able to find those things when and if we need them or somebody we love needs them. That's the thing we want to do, is be very, very organized. So one of the things that the clients that we work with get when they finish their delivery meeting at our office is we give them one of our 3-ring NuVenture blue binders. This is about a 3-ring binder. It's about that thick, and it's tabbed out with a lot of miscellaneous tabs. It has your income plan, your risk profile, your estate planning documents, even your health insurance stuff. A lot of different tabs that gets all of your retirement stuff organized and in one place in one binder. What we'll often tell people is, hey, look, God forbid something happens to you. Tell the kids you've got this blue binder somewhere, usually in the office or in the bedroom. If something happens to us, kids, go ahead and get that blue binder and call those people in that book, NuVenture Financial Group. They'll know exactly what to do. And they do it because you are organized. Now, it's also really important to understand that sometimes people come into our office and they have a ton of different accounts sitting out there. It's not uncommon to see people with sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7 or more different pre-tax or IRA accounts. Well, one of the cool things we can do is we can consolidate and combine those accounts into one. What that does is eliminates a lot of different statements coming in on a monthly basis, and we can pull those things together, consolidate them, and organize them. Now, there might be some things that you're utilizing for a certain reason. Maybe you have a 401k you're withdrawing some money from, that kind of thing, and maybe you want to keep that behind. But for everything else, let's organize it, consolidate it, and get it where it's working together. And then the last thing we'll talk about is upgrading policies if you need them. What we often see is that when people come in our office, we look at some of their investment statements, we look at some of their life insurance policies and realize the beneficiaries haven't been updated in years. So one of the practices we do on our annual strategy and tactical meetings is we make sure we ask questions regarding their beneficiaries because they will change over time. So you want to look at your beneficiaries and also look for different coverage options. So you may have had this life insurance policy around for many, many years. Well, understand new types of life insurance policies offer different components, sometimes long-term care components, chronic or critical illness riders, different things that are available now that weren't relevant or weren't even available many years ago. So we often tell people, look at these policies, bring them to a retirement planner, and they can address if it's worthy or not to upgrade these. So with that being said, make sure if you've got this financial junk drawer, you try to get as organized as possible. So with that being said, hope you got some great value out of today's Retirement in Focus. Back to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Bob. Well, still to come, we'll hear directly from you in our Q&A section. Retirement Perspectives with Bob Horn continues right after this.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. Our current tax rates are set to expire in just a few short years. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
Planning for retirement can be complicated. Helping create income that lasts, making sure your health care is covered, investing while managing risk, and don't forget about taxes. If you're overwhelmed, you're not alone. The good news is we have what you need to give you confidence to start planning for your ideal retirement, all in one convenient resource. You'll get answers to some of your biggest retirement questions in this easy-to-understand, practical resource. And best of all, there's no cost to you. Take the first step toward a confident retirement and get yours today.
Welcome back to the show. It's time to get to some of your questions that you have for Bob today. Are you ready to get started?
I am. I'm ready to go.
It's our favorite part of the show. It's an opportunity for us to hear directly from you. Okay, our first question comes from Amy in Mandarin. She says that, is it a good idea to have my investments, taxes, and legal documents for my estate all handled by the same firm?
Yeah, that's a good question, Andy. I'm not sure that it's a good idea or not. I mean, who am I to tell you that you shouldn't keep your investments, your estate stuff, and your taxes with the same firm? Maybe they're a great firm, and they're maybe doing a really good job. However, I think it's also very prudent for you to potentially look at diversifying that stuff too. There are professionals that concentrate on one of those things. You may have heard the old term, a jack of all trades is a master of none. And so you might want to look at that, but so long as you feel like everything's being handled efficiently, your investments are good, your taxes are good, and your estate is being adequately taken care of, who am I to tell you that you're not with the right firm for sure?
Really good insights, Bob. Thanks for that. Okay, let's get to our next question from Jeff in Nocatee. He says, I'm nervous about how much money I have in the stock market. What's the right amount for me to have invested in my early 60s? Great question.
So it is a great question. So it's important to know that Jeff, there is no right answer to that. All the plans that we do and that you should be receiving should be customized plans, depending on how much you want at risk, how much you want to produce income, and that kind of thing. So it's not about how much money that I have in the market. It's about how much money do you want to have in the market, and what is your risk target? Do you want that money in the stock market to be more growth-minded or more dividend-minded, more income-minded, more aggressive, more conservative? These are all the things that you should be talking to a financial advisor about and working with a retirement planner to navigate your retirement.
Definitely give us a call here at NuVenture Financial Group. They'll definitely take care of you. Okay, let's get to our next question from Sam in Fleming Island. She says that I recently lost my job from a company. I've been working more than 20 years. I'm at a loss to what I should do with my 401k. So can you help with that?
Yeah, Sam, I'm sorry about the loss of your job. However, on the upside, that presents a lot of opportunities for you, specifically with your 401k. So long as you are over the age of 59 and a half, most of the time we suggest rolling that money from your 401k over to an IRA or a Roth IRA, depending on what type of money is in your 401k. And really for two reasons. A lot of times in 401ks, we find that some of the under the table fees that are being charged on some of the funds in your 401ks are pretty high. And most people don't know that. So by taking the money out of the 401k, you take control of those investments. Literally, you may have 20 or 30 different investment options in your 401k. But when you roll those out into an IRA, your investment options open up. There's thousands of different things that you can do from an investment perspective. And then secondly, if a lot of the money in your 401k is in pre-tax, so it's never been taxed, when you roll it out to an IRA, you can then start leveraging tax efficiency, doing Roth IRA conversions and other types of situations that can help you be much more tax efficient in your retirement. So most of the times we do recommend rolling that money out of your 401k, take control of the asset.
A lot of really good things there. Okay, we have time for one last question from Karen in Jacksonville Beach. She says that I'm 62 years old and my mother passed away and left me an IRA with about $600,000 in it. What do I need to know about this account? And I don't want to make the wrong move and owe too much in taxes.
Yeah, so this is a good question. It's kind of in depth. So if you've inherited an IRA from your mother, you're now under the guidance of what they call the Secure Act of 2019, which basically eliminated this, what they call the stretch IRA provision, where years ago you could take a small required distribution every year for the remainder of your life. Well, that's now stopped. Now you have exactly 10 years to get all the money out of that IRA, which presents some very big challenges, specifically when it comes to taxes. Because as you might think, you get money out of an IRA, it's gonna be taxed. So the question is, do I take it all out at one time or over a number of years? And that's where a qualified retirement planner can help you navigate that. It's gonna be a tax burden to you, but hopefully by working with a retirement planner that understands tax efficiency, they can help you minimize that impact in those taxes.
Bob, these are really good insights, and I definitely appreciate people taking the time to submit their answers. Let's also share the experience that they're going to have if they were to call and come into your office. What does that look like?
Yeah, so I love these questions, but I want folks to understand that when they come into the office, we really dig into this. All the questions, the objectives, the goals, a lot of the questions you may have. We call our first visit at our office our picture day, because that's literally what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be getting a good picture on what it looks like. Number one, do you like us and do we like you? It's considered a kind of a first date. So the first part of that meeting is where we're going to be asking the typical financial advisor questions, all the things we need to know about you, your objectives, your goals. What do you want your retirement to look like? What's your perfect day going to look like in retirement? The qualitative situation. But it's really important that you get to know us as well. So about halfway through the meeting, we turn the table around and we'll tell you a lot more about our processes, our team, and how we're able to accomplish what we do with a lot of the retirees we work with. We want to make sure it's a real good picture and a real good fit for moving forward.
I appreciate your insights, Bob. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure being here with you today.
And you too as well.
Well, if you want to know ways to generate lifetime income, reduce your tax bill, and maintain your lifestyle in retirement, reach out now to start planning for your ideal retirement. For Bob Horn of NuVenture Financial Group, I'm Danielle Martin. Have a great day and an even better retirement.